Welcome back to the Riichi Mahjong guide. In the last video, we went over the yaku Riichi and Menzen Sumo, which are yaku that can only be claimed if your hand is completely closed. In this video, we're going to be talking about some yaku that are worth the same and can be claimed regardless of whether your hand is open or closed. So the first one I want to cover is Tanyao, or all simples, and that means that every tile in your hand is a number tile between 2 and 8. That means no terminals or 1s or 9s or honor tiles. So no wins, no dragons. Just has to be all numbers 2 through 8. So for instance, right now this hand is in Tenpai waiting for either a 6 or a 9 pin because we have the 3, 4, 5 of Manzu. We have the triplet of the 3 of Sozu. We have a pair of the 7 So. We have the 2, 3, 4 pin, and we have a 7 and 8 pin, which is a Yanmen waiting for 6 or 9. In this case, this hand is only Tanyao if we win on the 6. If the 6 is discarded by any other player, we can win by Don, and this hand is given the yaku Tanyao. Also, if we tsumo with this hand, if it's completely closed, we get both the yaku for Tanyao and Menzen Sumo. However, if the 9 pin comes out, we cannot win this hand because it does not have a yaku, because the 9 pin does not qualify for Tanyao. However, if we tsumo with this completely closed hand on the 9 pin, we would get the yaku for Menzen Sumo and could win this hand. So again, this is why it's important to keep this hand closed. But in most rule sets, you can have Tanyao as an open hand. So let's say, for instance, we have this hand. We called Chi on the 4 Mon to get a sequence of 3, 4, 5, and we called Pon on the 3 So to get a triplet of the 3 So. So now we're in Tenpai for an open hand for Tanya. So in any case, if the 6 pin comes out either from another player or if you draw it by Tsumo, you can win the 1 Han Yaku Tanya. The downside to this is that if the 9 pin comes out, you cannot win on it because it does not qualify for the yaku Tanyao. And even if you draw the 9 pin, because your hand has no yaku, you cannot win this hand. Even though you completed the conditions for a winning hand, you cannot win this hand. So this is really bad. If your hand had been completely closed, you could have won even on the 9 pin because you would have had the yaku Menzen Sumo. But now that your hand is open, you've lost that yaku and therefore cannot win the hand on the 9 pin. If your hand was something else like this, let's say it was a kanchan waiting on the 7 pin, then you can win it no matter what. If the 7 pin comes out, or if you tsumo, you can win on the 1 Han yaku Tanyao. I just want to note here to reiterate from the previous video, you can combine this yaku Tanyao with other yaku. As I showed before, you could combine it with Menzen Sumo if your hand is completely closed. You can even combine it with Riichi. So if, for instance, you had this hand shape here and you wanted Tanyao, you could discard the 9 pin because it doesn't qualify and you declare Riichi. So now you have at least Riichi and Tanyao. But Tanyao is one of the hands that you can win even if it's open. So a common strategy that players use is if they see their hand is pretty close to a Tanyao Tenpai from the start, they will just call on tiles to get to Tenpai and win with a 1 Han hand. It's very cheap, it's only 1 Han, but if you're already in the lead, or if you're dealer and you want that bonus game or Denchan, then it's not necessarily a bad idea. You just have to be careful that you won't accidentally be waiting on some 1s or 9s that don't qualify for Tanya. The next thing we're going to talk about in this video are Yakuhai. There are certain tiles in this game that are worth yaku just by having a triplet of them, regardless of whether it's open or closed. The basic ones are the haku, the hatsu, and the chun. If you have a triplet of any of these tiles, the haku, hatsu, or chun, that is yaku worth 1 Han. It's either called fanpai or yakuhai, or just the name of the tile, haku, hatsu, or chun. It's all the same, worth 1 Han. And this doesn't matter if it's open or closed, it's worth 1 Han regardless. So a common strategy people will do is they see, oh, I have a pair of the haku in my starting hand. If I can call on it from one of the other player's discards, I will have guaranteed yaku and I can just win with whatever hand I want. It's just worth 1 han though, so it's pretty cheap. And of course, if you're fortunate enough to draw a concealed triplet of yakuhai, you could combine that with other yaku, like Riichi or Menzen Sumo, to increase the value of your hand even further. So the haku, hatu, and chun are not the only tiles that can be yakuhai. There's also east, south, west, and north. Now, just like with whether or not these tiles are worth fu as a pair in your hand, those same rules apply to whether or not they qualify as yakuhai. So, for instance, in the east round, east is always yakuhai. No matter who has a triplet of it, it is yakuhai because it is the east round. Same with south in the south round. And in most games, there are no west or north rounds, so those wins get shorted a little bit. That's just how the game is. You can't really do anything about it. But regardless of what round it is, if you have a triplet of your own wind, so for instance, if you are west and you have a triplet of west, that triplet of west is yakuhai, worth 1 han. So all of these, just like the haku, hatu, and chun, they're worth 1 han, and it doesn't matter if they're open or closed. If it's your own wind, it's a yakuhai worth 1 han, and if it's the round wind, it's a yakuhai worth 1 han. And similarly, if you are east and the round is east, the east is worth double. It's 2 han. Having the triplet of east would be 2 han if you are east and it is east round. Same with the south, if it is south round and you are south. And just like with the dragon tiles, they're just called yakuhai, or they're called their own names, either east or tone or non or south, whatever terminology you play by, it's all the same thing. And so if you're east and you have a triplet of east in the east round, that's double east or double tone. And if you're south and you have a triplet of south in the south round, that's double non or double south. Again, west and north get shorted on this part, but what can you do? So to review, if your hand has only numbered tiles 2 through 8 in them, then it qualifies for the yaku Tanyao, which is worth 1 han, regardless of if it's open or closed. And for yakuhai, if you have the haku, hatu, chun, the round wind or your own wind as a triplet, regardless of whether it's open or closed or your hand is open or closed, those yakuhai are yaku worth 1 han. So these yaku are commonly used to win open hands. So you'll open your hand for a Tanyao, or you'll call on yakuhai to confirm your yaku and your hand will be open. That's very common. So if you absolutely insist on calling tiles, make sure you can at least try and get one of these yaku. There are many more yaku that can be claimed with an open hand, but pretty much all of them are worth less if your hand is open than if your hand is closed, and we'll be getting to those in later videos. So that's it for now. As usual, if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below, and thank you so much for watching.